until I know why they're selling, I really don't have anything. I mean, when I know why, I know the motivation, I know when, I know what, I know everything. There's been plenty of deals that I've priced that I thought would never sell that sold within a week. Didn't necessarily sell for full price, but we put it out there. It's 50,000 over or something, and I'm like, this is just gonna sit there. And lo and behold, there's a buyer that really wanted that property, or a neighbor or something, that came in and made a really decent offer. It ended up being a lot higher than what I originally thought it would go for. That's where things get a little murky, right? It's like you're advising them, hey, this is what it's worth, this is what it's worth. But then a buyer comes along and pays 10,000 more, and then you're like, oh, well, good for you. You know, it's like, you need to take this. This is 10,000 more than I thought you would get. Our job is to tell them what the comps are and what we think the market value is, and then let them make a decision. You know, I've had listings for like 3 years that were way overpriced, and then boom, they sell because the market caught up to it. Or a buyer made an offer and the seller really wanted to sell. Or the seller calls me 6 months in and says, I really need to sell this. What do we need to do? And I'm like, we need to lower it 50,000 and then we'll get it done. Like, do it. It comes back to just listening to what people want to do. If they want to price it too high, obviously they don't care if it sells or need to sell it. And so you just do it. You just help them do what they want to do. Okay, cool. You want it out there for this god-awful amount? Great. You know, as long as you realize it's probably not going to be shown and in my opinion won't sell, let's do it. Once it's out there in the market, you have data. You have data, right? You have the showings, you have the feedback. You can go back and say, look, this is what they're saying.
Right. Now, when you're getting those sellers and listing presentations, do you believe that people genuinely care if you have a marketing strategy that's really different from other realtors? Or do you think that they just really care about who you are and what you're going to be able to do for them?
Well, it just depends on the agent, right? Some agents have to use the marketing listing package presentation to kind of hide behind the fact that they're not that great with people. So they try to compensate that with the marketing they're gonna do. And other agents are in the middle, you know, they're really good with people and they like the marketing thing. I'm completely the other way. What I like to do is really connect with them, right? So I really wanna figure out why they're selling. That's the most important thing to me, because once I realize why they're selling, then I can really understand what it is they're trying to do and how I can help them do it. Until I know why they're selling, I really don't have anything. I mean, when I know why, I know the motivation, I know when, I know what, I know everything. And so I like to have those really deep conversations with them, try to figure out what that bigger why is, because they didn't wake up one day and say, Susie, I think we're gonna sell the farm. You know, they didn't like wake up and say, I'm gonna sell a house today for no reason, right? There's a reason behind it. You know, their kids went to college, somebody died, they're relocating, got a new job, something else outside of the actual real estate transaction is happening that's influencing them to do the real estate transaction. Until you put that puzzle together, right, and really connect with them. And so there's two parts of it. There's understanding why they're selling, and then there's also the relating to the reason why. You know, really relating and letting them feel that you feel why they're doing it and that you're in it with them, like a family member would. You treat them like family. And so when you can give them that family feeling, I think, to me, and this is just me, that's how I built my business, not with listing presentations, but with helping people understand how much I care about them and that I'm willing to do anything it takes to help them get the job done.
Right, so it's sort of just like making it as simple as possible and just, trying to be that extra family member of support.
Well, just think about it like this. If your brother or mom or dad or uncle was gonna come to your house to talk to you about listing your house, would he bring some huge marketing package and listing presentation and stuff like that?
I would just talk to them.
Right. If you're going to your mom, okay, you're gonna list your mom's house. Are you gonna have her sit down and go through a PowerPoint about how many Facebook hits and Zillow and postcards and whatever else you do, whatever your presentation is? Are you gonna go through all that with her? No, absolutely not. And if your mom called you and said, I'm gonna sell my house today, right? Or I wanna sell the house, right? What would be your first question if your mom called you right now and said, I'm thinking about selling my house.
Where are you going to?
Exactly. Which comes back to why. Why are you selling, Mom? Like why are you selling? Like, what are you doing? Where are you going? You see that's exactly right. What we have is, I guess, people who, if they get called by a prospect that's looking to maybe sell, their first question is, well, when can I meet you? When can I see the house? Or whatever. There's a disconnect between how they treat family and how they're treating prospects. They're just trying to set appointments and get deals and get listings signed, in contrast to the conversation you would have with, your family. And I think that's key. I think it's key, to treat your prospects just like if they're family. And when they get that feeling that you really are not just acting like you're true, but you actually are, treating them like family, that's when you start to build a really big business.